In the future, an outbreak of the fungus will turn half of the world's population into zombies. Hello everyone, Movie Jack is in touch, and this is a short retelling of the second episode of the zombie series One of Us, filmed based on the legendary game of the same name The Last of Us. If you somehow missed the beginning, then follow the link in the video description to watch the first part. The pilot retelling for some reason did not fly into the recommendations and collected very few views. Despite your asset, the YouTube algorithms may not have worked. Therefore, I want to ask you to catch up and once again support this video as much as possible with any comment. In short, let's have 1,000 likes and 100 comments as usual, and I'm releasing the following retelling. Enjoy watching. On the 24th of September, 2003 in Jakarta, Indonesia, mycologist Ratna Pertiwa has lunch at a local cafe. The authorities abruptly accompany her to a private laboratory, implying that they need her academic knowledge in the field of mycology and offer her to look at the prepared sample. She concludes that it is the fairy cordyceps, and the man informs her that it is a sample from a human. She is skeptical, so she is allowed to carefully examine the infected woman. Ratno is horrified when he removes the mustache from the woman's mouth. The authorities inform her that the incident began at a flour mill where 14 workers disappeared, and ask her to suggest how to avoid the spread of infection. In shock, she offers to bomb the whole city, killing all the inhabitants. Then she becomes very emotional and asks for permission to be with her family. In 2023, Ellie sleeps on the ground in an abandoned building. Joel and Tess are watching her when she wakes up, and both have her at gunpoint. All three discuss her bite or claim that she is not infected, but Joel and Tess are doubtful. Ellie starts eating the chicken sandwich that Marlene packed for her when the test demands to talk about her importance, otherwise they will leave without her, to which Ellie admits that there is a firefly camp in the west where a vaccine is being developed. Joel, still doubtful, offers to pick her up again, but Tess has a hard time convincing him to follow the current plan, because although she still doubts Ellie's immunity, she claims that the fireflies will still give them supplies. They hit the road, and Ellie is fascinated by the ruins. Their way to the Massachusetts State House is blocked by a collapsing building. Joel gives an ultimatum: a long way or a short one. Tess and Ellie want to go the long way, and Joel decides to check out the hotel first. On the way, Ellie tells Tess that she was bitten when she sneaked into an abandoned shopping mall alone. She says that she is a 14-year-old orphan who does not have a loved one. She admits that she used to think that the outside world was saturated with hordes of infected, and asks about the fact that infected people can use echolocation when an ominous scream distracts the group. Joel encourages them to keep moving. They reach the lobby of the hotel, which is flooded, and Ellie informs them that she can't swim. The water turns out to be shallow, and Ellie is messing around in the flooded lobby. She accidentally discovers a skeleton, which stops her recklessness, and the group continues to climb the stairs. The corridor is blocked, so the test crawls through a narrow hole in the blockage to open the next door from the inside. Joel tries to make small talk with Ellie while they wait for Tess, but he begins to get annoyed by her arrogance and personal questions. They discuss the infected, and the test interrupts possible conversations about the man Joel beat to death the night before. Joel notices the worried expression on Tess' face. On the balcony, the TPP shows them a large group of infected people lying on the ground together on their way to the state building. Tess explains to Ellie that most of them were deep inside the buildings at some point, and when people trying to get to the quarantine zone entered the building in search of shelter, they were often bitten. The test also explains that the fungus grows underground, and its fibers reach a length of several miles. Thus, by disturbing one focus of cordyceps, you can awaken another, located a few miles away from it. She informs Ellie that although she is immune from infection, she is not immune from being torn apart by the horde. They decide that they should take a shortcut to the museum. Joel cracks a mushroom growing outside the museum and concludes that its dryness indicates that all infected in the museum are dead. They slowly enter the museum. Joel admits that they should have chosen this path in the first place. Ellie is confronted by a man who appears to have been violently assaulted. The test tries to convince itself and Joel that the man was attacked outside, because an attack of this type indoors implies something more sinister. Joel demands complete silence for the rest of their stay at the museum. They climb the stairs quietly. Ellie steps on the decomposed hand, creating a noise. They go to a room on the top floor, and the stairs collapse as soon as they pass through it. They keep quiet when they hear an ominous clicking sound. Clicking comes out of the next room, and Ellie gets scarier and scarier. They hide behind the window. Joel tells Ellie they can't see, but they can hear. Clicker stumbles next to them, and Ellie lets out a sigh, alerting him. This prompts Joel to shoot the clicker with a machine gun, but it does nothing. While he is fighting off the clicker, another one appears. Tess and Eli run away, but stumble over a dummy. The second clicker chases Tess, and either crawls away. Joel runs away from the first clicker, smashes the showcase, which attracts the attention of the clicker, who is hiding behind the wall. He surreptitiously reloads the gun and makes his way to Kelly. They crouch, walking away from the clicker. However, Joel steps on the glass, and the clicker jumps over the table onto Ellie and Joel. He escapes and kills both clickers with his assault rifle. The Tess tells them to move before the sun sets. Outside, Joel puts a bandage on Ellie's bite and helps Tess set her sprained ankle. He again expresses concern about Ellie's infection, but Tess snaps back, saying that they should be grateful for being alive. They reach the road in front of the state building, where a truck with containers is parked, waiting for Ellie to be transported. Joel begins to suspect that no one is meeting them, and checks the truck, finding a dead driver under it. Tess pulls out a gun and runs inside with Ellie. They find the fireflies dead. Joel turns one of them over and discovers that mushrooms are growing on his face. Ellie asks him if Phaedra did it, and Joel replies that no, one of the fireflies got infected, passed the infection on to others, and the survivors either died or committed suicide instead of getting infected themselves. Horrified, Tess begins examining the bodies, claiming that one of them must have a map or something pointing the way to the firefly camp. Joel finally loses his patience and tells them that it's over and they need to go home. Tess notices that this is now her home, to which Eli realizes that she is infected. Joel asks her to show him, and Tess pulls back his shirt to reveal a heavily infected bite mark on his neck. She reflects that at some point their luck should have run out. While Joel is trying to make sense of what is happening, Tess orders Ellie to remove the bandage and discovers that the bite mark has completely healed. Tess orders Joel to find Bill and Frank and force them to transfer ore, telling him that he is obligated to save everyone he can. Suddenly one of the dead fireflies wakes up, and Joel, without hesitation, shoots him. Threads wrap around his arms, and the infected horde rushes to the state building. Tess grabs the discarded weapons and starts smashing fuel barrels and throwing grenades, telling Ellie that she will make sure that the infected can't chase them. Joel grabs Ellie by the hand and forcibly pulls her out of the state building while the horde storms the building. The Tess tries to light the lighter, but the flame goes out all the time. The infected man pushes her into a corner and lets the tendrils from his mouth into her mouth, sealing them with a kiss. Tess feels her mind slowly overcome by a cordyceps infection, but she keeps trying to light the lighter until it finally catches fire. Having abandoned her, she uses the last moment of free will and closes her eyes when the building bursts into a sea of flames. Joel and Ellie are outside when the building explodes. They see the infected stumble out, burning to the ground, and Joel holds a rifle aimed at them. In the end, he lowers his rifle and walks away without saying a word, and Ilya stays behind, looking after him.